that came in was the tramp. Oh, I gotta narrow that down.
You know what?
Was it was Ada. Don't you remember nothing?
Can you do this one, please?
All right, I'm gonna do it from here, all right? If that's okay, I'm gonna do it from right here. The first person that came in was Ada Canova.
Okay.
And she walked right into the entryway and she stopped. She wasn't happy. As a matter of fact, she was crying loudly, very upset.
Take me back! Tony, I love you!
Tony! Sweetheart, I'm not exactly sure what you're channeling right now. But I don't want you to relive your life in the middle of this because we're not guys. We've all had heartbreak in our lives. This is neither the time nor the place to dance. So she was just crying. And she cried. She walked all the way into the living room. She was wailing. Wailing and flailing. And she got right up to my boss and she looked him straight in the face and she said, "Oh, Tony! Oh, Tony! Take me back! Take me back! Please! Please! Now, see, that was okay because she wasn't reliving the past. And Tony looked at her and he said, "Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
You have outstayed your welcome with me.
Outstayed your welcome with me.
So let go of my hand.
Let go of my hand.
No!
And leave me alone." Honey, stop channeling. Let go of the man's hand. He needs his fingers for tomorrow. And he says, "Please, we're done."
We're done.
No, please, we're done.
Please, we're done.
You're going to be dead soon. Get it right. All right.
Hey.
So this made her all of a sudden change. Her face becomes stone. She's angry because he just insulted her. She furrows her brow. She clenches her fist. She breathes heavily. And then she reaches over and grabs a glass out of his hand. And hey. Having fun now, are we? She grabs a glass out of his hand and she gives him a look and she says, "You know what I ought to do?
You know what I ought to do?
I ought to take this drink
I ought to take this drink
and throw it right in your face."
and throw it right in your face.
And she brings her arm back and she's getting ready to throw it right in his face.
You filmed it. You filmed it.
At least put some confetti in it or something. Jeez. You're a wimp. Like I was actually going to have her throw that in your face. She brings her hand back and she's just ready to throw it when all of a sudden from the top of the stairs, Mrs. Loprano lets out a loud scream. And she comes to the top of the stairs. And apparently becomes part of some silent movie somewhere. Just envision her in black and white right now. Where's the hell she got this? I don't know. Yeah, you thought wrong. So, she's very angry because she looks down and she sees her husband, who's walking around aimlessly for some reason. Stand still, for God's sake. She sees her husband down there with the tramp, and she yells down from the top of the steps, "Unhand my Waterford, you tramp!"
Unhand my Waterford, you tramp!
And then she comes running down the staircase. It was a spiral staircase. Spiral. Yes. All the way down. sudden she grabs the glass out of the tramp's hand, and she goes, "I told you to let my glass alone.
I told you to let my glass alone.
This is expensive glassware.
This is expensive glassware.
I don't care about him.
I don't care about him.
I just don't want you to break my glass.
I just don't want you to break my glass.
So why don't you break your glass
So why don't you break your glass
outside?
outside?
Why don't you go to the curb
Why don't you go to the curb
with the rest of the trash?"
with the rest of the trash?
Oh, come on, Ida, like you never heard that before. Okay. So she was channeling. She looks at the wife and she goes, "Well, I never."
Well, I never.
And you guys insert your own joke there.
I bet you did.
And she did. She goes, "I don't need this from you.
I don't need this from you.
And you're stuck with that bum over there.
And you're stuck with that bum over there.
So I feel sorry for you."
So I feel really sorry for you.
And then she pulled up all of her pride. Ooh, you're very prideful. She pulled up all of her pride. Like a woman with a lot of pride. Strong woman. I love that. What? And she was dignified, and she walked out of the house with her dignity intact. Let's hear it for Ida Canola. And that's nature's pride right there. Now, the next thing I know, the wife, she turns to my boss over there. I mean, my brother, my boss, my brother, he's all of that. Turns to him and she says to him, "I can't believe you did this to me.
I can't believe you did this to me.
How dare you bring people like that in my house?
How dare you bring people like that in my house?
I told you I don't want those kind of people in here."
I told you I don't want them.
Now we're at Masterpiece Theater.
You know, for a woman that's just been cheated on, you're very matter of fact.
I say next.
So she looks at him and she says, "If this ever happens again,
If this ever happens again,
you're gonna regret it, buddy."
you're gonna regret it.
And then she pokes him in the chest with her finger and she says, pokes him in the chest with her finger. Pokes him, yes. And she says, "You
You
better
stop
stop fooling around."
around.
Did you hear what I said?
That's a
You hear what I
British
said?
guy.
You better stop fooling around.
You better
No,
stop
with the
fooling
poking, with the
around.
poking. My brother, my boss, my twin, just before he can say something, all of a sudden the earth stood still. The sun darkened a little in the sky. The house shook a little bit. The other way, yeah, thank you. And there was an eclipse. And then apparently a supernova. What happened was, Paulie Peanuts came walking into the front of the house. And he stopped. He stood there for a moment. And he flexed to show us his muscles. No, I said he flexed. Okay, good enough. And then, like the man that he is, he came walking into the living room. No, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said man. Go back.
He's a cowboy.
Was that John Wayne? I guess he is a little. Okay, you walked in like you normally do. There you go. And Paulie came in and everyone was sort of a little scared. And he walked over and he went to the side of Mrs. Loprano, and he goes, "Hey, Mrs. L.
Hey, Mrs. L.
How you doing?" Very good. And he took the glass out of her hand. And he said, Mrs. L,
Mrs. L,
I love you. You know that.
Down on one knee.
I love
Listen, you ain't the queen of Lopranos, all right?
I love you, you know that.
And my boss loves you too.
And my boss Terry loves you too. I mean, my boss loves you too.
And so does Terry. The hell, we may as well throw you in the middle of this. As a matter of fact, I have her out in the car right now. But I need to talk to your husband right now.
I need to talk to your husband right now.
So if you don't mind,
So if you don't mind,
could you let us men do a little talking?
could you let us men do a little talking?
And she looked at him and she goes, you know what, Paulie?
You know what, Polly?
A lot of people don't notice about you,
A lot of people don't notice about you.
but you got class.
But you get clear.
You're not like my bum of a husband.
You're not like my bum of a husband.
And then she turned and gave him a stare. Which is the exact same expression she's had since she walked in. And she goes, I will let you alone for now.
I will let you alone for now.
By the way, tell Johnny
By the way, tell Johnny
I said hello.
I said hello.
And tell Terry
And tell Terry
I said hello. And she walked out of the living room. Let's hear it for Mrs. O'Brien. That was awesome. That's never happened before. So then Paulie turns to my boss, and he moves up close to him. And he looks him square in the eye. And he says, let me tell you something, Loprano.
Let me tell you something, Loprano.
My boss sent me here,
My boss sent me here.
because he ain't happy with you.
Because he ain't happy with you.
And then,
And then,
he... No. Stage direction, I'm sorry, I got you. Sorry, you were channeling something else, too. And he looked him square in the eye, and he gave him a look that would melt steel. No, not a look of gaseous pain, a look that would melt steel. Do it again. Yeah. And he said, I'm now going to make you an offer.
I'm now going to make you an offer.
You can't refuse.
You can't refuse.
And then he gave him that kiss of death thing on both cheeks. Oh, wait a minute, wait. Terry didn't see it. Could you do that again? Watch closely. Again, Terry she didn't see it. Very nice. And for the rest of you, this will be on channel 389 in your hotel rooms. It's pay-per-view. And that's when my boss, my brother boss, Tony, that's when he turned. Wow, this really did turn into one of those movies. We have the lights back up, please. Somehow, thank you. That's when Tony actually turned to him and said, can I have your phone number? Remember, he kissed him back and asked him for his phone number. So kissed him back and asked him for his phone number. No, that's what happened. That's what happened. Kiss him back and ask him for his phone number. It's on the videotape. I can't help it. What was on the video? You wanted to be the dead guy.
I was sitting drinking.
Well, get to the kissing. Terry didn't see it again.
Open wide.
She's got to instruct That's okay. Terry will rent it later. Did you ask him for his phone number? Get back up there.
Urban monster.
What happened was, boy, this movie really turned kinky. What happened was the postman showed up. And he walked in, and he looked over at Tony, and he goes, "Hey, Tony! Hey, Tony!
Hey, Tony.
I'm the postman! And I'm here to make a delivery!"
I'm here to make a delivery.
And the weird thing was, he had no packages. Well, except for one.
Oh, yes, I did.
That was out in the car. He said, if you want,
If you want.
I can put it in the box. The mailbox! The mailbox! I can put it in the mailbox. I can put it in the mailbox.
Put it in the
Or
mailbox.
I can slip it under the door.
Or something like that.
I am begging you right now.
Tony was very happy that his package had arrived. So he kissed him back and asked him for his phone number. I'm going to cut you a break. I'll make Terry stand for it. So she'll see it the first. No? Okay. So the postman had to go back to the post office. That didn't really happen, but in the movie later on, let's hear it for the postman. So what really happened was, after he asked him for his phone number, that's when old Bobby Bocce Balls over here realized that his boss was standing there with the enemy. And so from the front of the house, he goes, "Yo, Peanuts!"
Yo, Peanuts.
Yeah, watch how you say that. He said, "Yo, what do you think you're doing? Yo, what do you think you're doing?"
Yo.
Only one person got that. I know it's, and that shows how perverted she is. What? You said, "Paulie, hey, Paulie, what are you doing?"
Hey, Paulie, what are you doing?
And Paulie lifted the glass, and he goes, "You know what I'm doing, Bobby?
You know what I'm doing, Bobby?
I'm having a drink."
I'm having a drink.
And he took a great big sip out of the glass. Well, this angered Bobby. He got a look on his face like he would kill the world. No, that's more of a look of confusion. But we'll go with it because it's midnight. And so he comes running in to the living room, down the stairs. Yes, spiral staircase. Yes, here he goes. Down the spiral staircase. Oh my God. I have to make it a spiral staircase. This guy. My God. Oh, here we go. He's got to get to the landing already. Do me a favor and take a half a step backwards. No, the other way, you dummy. Thank you. And he goes over and he takes the glass out of Paulie's hand. And he says, "You know what, Peanuts?
You know what, Peanuts?
I can't believe you had the nerve to show up here.
I can't believe you had the nerve to show up here.
So you better take yourself
better take yourself
out of here
out of here
before there's trouble."
before there's trouble.
And then he leaned in and looked directly into his eyes.
A big sloppy
You
kiss.
see, honey? You apparently did. I think it's time for a date later. What the heck's going on with her? her. She's got her own issues going on. She's watching a completely different show than us. And that's when Paulie looked over at Bobby and he just chuckles. And then he looks back at my brother and he goes, "I'll talk to you later."
I'll talk to you later.
If you're around.
If you're around. Ooh.
And then he went walking out of the room and the whole house shook. And we all Paulie Peanuts. No peanut allergy there. That's when Bobby turns to my brother and he goes, "Boss, I can't help it. I had to take some of that money.
Take some of the money.
You know that I'll pay it back."
You know that I'll pay you back.
And then that's when my brother took the glass out of his hand. Yes, very good. No, you're not that angry. And he laughed. He goes, "Believe me, you're going to pay it back.
Oh, believe me, you're gonna pay that.
Because one way or another,
Because one way or another,
we're all getting paid."
we're all getting paid.
Bobby shook in his boots a little bit. I said a little bit, but that was fine.
In the back.
Yes, we can all see it back here, yes. And then he goes, "Boss, I'll see you tonight, okay?
I'll see you tonight, okay?
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 Okay."
Okay.
And that's when Tony turned to him and said, "Get out of here, you sniveling idiot."
Get out of here, sniveling idiot.
And then didn't kiss him, no. And that's when Bobby Bocce Balls turned and walked out of the house dejected and beaten. Let's hear it for Bobby Bocce Balls. The last thing that was on the videotape that I saw was my boss was standing there drinking his drink.
Arsenic.
Come on, brother. You're my twin brother boss. Drink your drink. And that's what happened to the boss of the family.
All right, there is also a surveillance camera here at the casino right outside, and I saw what happened out here. At this point, Tony had finished his drink, so he had driven here to the casino. He got out of his car, and as soon as he got out of his car, he got hit with these horrible stomach pains. He staggered forward. He staggered to the left. He staggered to the right. And then let's make believe this is the dumpster. He fell down into the dumpster, so just sit in the chair so everybody can see here. He was actually in the dumpster, and then I saw his left leg shut up and started to shake. It continued to shake, and then his right arm started to shake with it. And then his left arm started to shake, and then his right leg started to shake. His tongue was hanging out of his mouth. It was hanging out, you didn't see it. There was a bit of drooling. He didn't really do any of this. I just want to see how much I can get this guy to do. And then he died. Let's hear it for Tony. Now, one thing happened in between all the male kissing that was going on that I found very interesting. And that would be the fact that Paulie Peanuts took a sip out of the glass. And he's here. And he's alive and well. And then we saw what happened. Tony took a sip out of the glass and we saw what happened to him. Only one person handled that glass in between the time Paulie took a sip and Tony took a sip. Only one person had the opportunity to put poison into that glass. And that person was you, Bobby. Stand up, please. You poisoned Tony.
Oh, Bocce Balls.
Are you kidding? This guy.
This guy, right
Why
here.
would he kill my brother? And you know what? Even if he did kill him, he certainly wouldn't have poisoned him. He's a bodyguard. He would have shot him in the back of the head when he wasn't looking.
Oh, no. You see, Paulie told us something very interesting before. He said that Bobby owed $500,000 to the Godfather. Now, he needed money, and he needed it fast. So here's what happened. Something very interesting happened last night. He and Tony went and had dinner at Mario Parmesan's restaurant, right? They both ate a 7-course meal at 8 o'clock. Imagine it takes you several hours to eat 7 courses, right? So then at 11 o'clock, they turned up at Sal Manila's restaurant, and Tony ate another 7 courses. This is like, they must have gone right from one restaurant to the other. But Bobby only was nibbling on breadsticks. Of course he was. He was full. He just ate 7 courses. Now, Tony was a big guy, but not enough to eat 14 courses in one night. You see? Because at the second restaurant, it wasn't Tony that Bobby was eating with. It was the twin brother Don LaFrance. You were conspiring with Don at the second restaurant. Don wanted his brother out of the way. Obviously, somebody got it right. Don wanted his brother out of the way so he could inherit the family business. Bobby needed money, so Don, who knew what his brother drank every afternoon, he told us all the contents of his daily afternoon drink, told Bobby all about that, gave Bobby the poison to put into the glass. He would be free and clear because he knew his Easy Pass was going to save him, because he would be en route from Baltimore at the time of the poisoning. So and then he would help out Bobby with his gambling debts so that Bobby could pay back the Godfather and stay in Colby Peanut's good graces. So the correct answer is Bobby with assistance from Don. So let's have a hand for our 2 killers, Bobby and Don.